I'm the Grumpy Old Man, and great to see you once again. Yeah, it's been a little while since I did my last episode, but unfortunately life got in the way, so I kind of had to attend to that. But now I'm back, and hopefully I can do these little episodes a bit more frequently. So let's have a bit of a catch-up, because a lot has happened in the last few months, well, month and a half. And, of course, we had that huge debate that Biden and Trump were kind of trying to have a go with each other. And, of course, Trump has been pushing for a debate for ages and ages. This is the presidential election debate, whatever you want to call it. And finally, after much pushing from Trump, Biden accepted. And this, let's have a look at what he actually had to say. So let's head over to X. And this was on May the 15th when he finally accepted. Of course, I'm talking about Biden accepting it.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays. Donald Trump...
Talk about a bit of full of gutso there. I'm going to play this once again, and I want you to have a good look this time and notice something about the video. Here we go.
Lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Did you notice it? In the space of a 14-second clip, there was like 12 different cuts. The guy can't even stand upright properly and give a 14-second, what would you call it, an acceptance challenge. They had to edit it, 12 times or whatever it is. Go through it again, it's a bit crazy. Of course, all the shields started to come out, and this is Harry's Sesson. And, oh my God, this guy is a young 20-year-old brash. I've got to give it to him, he's very well spoken, but geez, he's an absolute shield towards Biden. So let's have a look and what he has to say about the upcoming debate at that stage.
So what's actually going to happen is that Joe Biden's going to get up on that debate stage and slap Donald Trump around for 90 minutes, and then all of these Trump supporters are going to be incredibly sad over his performance. They'll never admit this, but they know it's true.
We know what's going to happen. Yeah, that was an absolute disaster. When you look back at it, it was a really dumb thing for him to say. But this guy, Harry, he's just an absolute chill. He actually gets paid by a promotional company to shill for the Democrat Party, and the Democratic Party actually pays his promo company. That's how it works. So let's have a look at Biden training. He's getting ready for the debate. Oh, I love this clip.
That Apollo won't know what hit him. You're gonna roll over him like a bulldozer. And
that's George Soros in the background there, helping him, by the waist, moving him on a little bit. And so the debate finally happened, June 27th. And shall we have a look at some of the highlights that actually came from this debate? And I watched it live, and boy, was it an absolute disaster. Biden just got absolutely annihilated by Trump. And that was me trying to be objectively even, I guess, on the outcome. No, well, actually, there was no outcome. It was rubbish. So let's have a look at some of the highlights.
The total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look,
Have you ever had a dream that you had you could do so you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in. They talk about that, but here's the deal: there's a lot of young women who are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses.
Say what? Their in-laws and their spouses? What is he talking about? I watched the whole debate. It was about 45 minutes or so, and I struggled to follow what he was actually trying to say. It was I can't even express how bad it was. It was just shocking.
Brothers and sisters, it's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
What the fuck?
President Trump walking off the stage.
And this bit was straight after the debate. And have a look how bad Biden's trying to walk down these stairs. Jill has to help him. Trump already just walked off, didn't thank anyone, and he just left.
We'll be talking to surrogates, including Vice President Harris, getting fact checks from Daniel Dale, and new reporting from inside both campaigns. With me here, CNN political commentator Scott Jennings.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd.
This was straight after the debate. Wow. Yeah, like I said, it was that bad. And of course, straight after that, everybody in the media, MSM, the mainstream media, the Democrats, they all turned on Biden instantly. But what had happened was, for about an hour after the debate, there was a handful of people still trying to support him until the dust settled. And then when the dust settled, yeah. I mean, have a look at this. This was the Democrats. This is their account on X, and they really thought that the winner was Biden. But you can tell it was an absolute disaster because, like I said, the following day everybody was just kicking into Biden, how bad it was, and the whole world, not only the USA, but the whole world actually finally saw how bad Biden was, because right up to this stage, MSNBC, ABC, CNN, they were all hiding how dysfunctional Biden actually was. It took this debate to expose how bad Biden was. Now, Joe Blow, people don't really follow politics. If they tune in, there's only two things they'll tune into when it comes to US politics. It'll be the presidential debates as well as the State of the Union talk, or the address. And the world finally got to see all the things that we had seen for the last 3-4 years. Because, like myself, I prefer watching independent media. I don't like watching MSNBC and all those mainstream media because they hide so much. They'll lie by admitting the truth. And when it comes to the lies, they have no problem with spewing it. So, yeah, terrible. So, like I said, the Democrats absolutely turned on him, and They basically said, yep, we don't want you anymore. You need to do something. And, just wasn't happening after that. So after the dust settled on that one, Biden tried to do a big boy pants type interview with George Stephanopoulos, and that was an absolute disaster as well. And then there was no turning back after that. MSNBC and like I said, the mainstream media, they just jumped in and said, "You've got to resign, Joe. You're no good anymore." And then we jumped about a week later, and sadly on July the 13th, 2024, there was an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. Let's have a look at that video.
The chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Here he comes. Man, he was so lucky to have survived that. Missed his head by a centimetre and took out a big portion of his ear, his right ear. Check out the female Secret Service agent. Absolutely useless. No idea what they were doing. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. The Secret Service really let down their guard. There were so many opportunities to stop the shooter, because I think it was about 2 hours. The shooter, a young bloke by the name of Thomas Crooks, I believe. This is him there, young bloke. He was spotted at least 2 hours casing out the joint, and there's even talk there was apparently he was using a drone. Can't confirm that at this stage, so just, keep your ears out. I'll try and find out the exact situation with that. Now, he had been casing the joint up to 2 hours before that. Quite a few people had seen it. And when the shooter, Thomas, was on top of the roof, he shot from, I think it was about 140 yards. Now, there was a police officer that had seen he was on the roof, climbed up a ladder, and when he got there, Thomas turned around, pointed the gun, and the police officer ran off. And within minutes after that is when Thomas took the shots at President Trump. Now, there was varying reports on how many shots. At this stage, it's up to 11 shots. 3 of them were from this nutcase. Of course, the sniper spotted him and took him out within after those 3 shots, and basically annihilated him. He was just a pile of goo on top of the roof. Now, the Secret Service were a total disarray. They just didn't know what they were doing on the day. And apparently it was a temp crew. The usual crew was sent off to Jill Biden. She was doing some type of function in the same state, which was Pennsylvania. So like I said, that was an absolute disaster. It was very lucky that Trump only lost a portion of his ear, didn't lose his life after all that. But the problem I had with all this, obviously apart from the actual shooting, was the mainstream media, which I absolutely hate. They have been pushing this extreme view against Trump for years, for at least 8 years. They've been saying he's a dictator, he's Hitler, and he's going to destroy democracy. What did you expect was going to happen after almost 10 years of this rhetoric? Of course you're going to create a nutcase that was going to go and take him out. It's the old story of Hitler. What would you do if you had the chance to kill him as a baby? The majority of people say, yeah, they're gonna take out the baby, so we never ever have Hitler. So this nutcase has decided, okay, I'm going to take out Trump before he becomes the dictator, becomes the Hitler that we've all been told he was. Yeah, it's only just recently, it's only like a month ago, that Snopes actually have come out and said the Charlottesville line that Biden and the rest of mainstream media have been pushing, that whole rhetoric about that Trump said that there were good people on both sides, and he was referring to the white nationalists. Trump never said that. he said there were good people on both sides, but within the same paragraph, he actually said he wasn't talking about the white supremacists. And it took 7 years for Snopes to say that that was a lie. And within, I think it was 2 days after Snopes calling that out, Biden used that same rhetoric once again, that same narrative. Yeah, it makes me really mad that this is what they've done, and they've convinced so many people that Trump was Hitler. He's never done anything remotely that would be classified as a dictatorship. The reality is Trump has had 4 years. He had the presidency, and he didn't do anything in that whole period of time. In fact, the economy was booming under him. And with international relations, he was behind with, was it the Abraham's Accord, where he got 8 Middle Eastern countries to sit at a table and get them to exchange into talks once again. Shocking, absolutely shocking, this MSM. Shocking is my word for the day. All right, anyway, so let's move on. And then, of course, let's have a look at this piece of footage. This is a 3D rendering of how lucky Trump actually was with the bullet. So let's check this out. Make sure I bring up the right volumes and let's give it a bit of a play.
Take a look what happened.
At the last second, he tilted his head and the 3 bullets missed him.
Look what happened.
Somebody said it was like 0.3 of a second from the time he tilted his head to the time the bullet went through his ear. Very lucky man, and all the conservatives saying was have been saying that God was on his side and he was being protected by an angel on that day. And look, what other ways there to look at it? Unbelievable. And of course, straight after the shooting, all the nutcases from the left had an absolute meltdown because the shooter missed. Shall we have a look at these people?
John Wilkes Booth, if you can hear us, if you are with us, please, John Wilkes Booth, if you're listening, please.
Let me get this straight, dumbass! You have a fully reloaded shotgun, but you chose to use a 1-bullet.
We're not even sending our best to fucking assassinate. Cause what the hell was that? Lee Harvey Oswald would never, bitch. John Wilkes Booth would never.
Today was like this close to being the best day ever.
Also, the person that at Trump at his rally was exercising that right that all of those Republicans were fighting for. So, can you really blame him?
Wow. I actually had a couple of friends on my Facebook feed, and they basically said the same thing. They said it's a shame they missed. On a human level, what type of scumbag are you to be able to say those type of things? This is a human being that was almost killed, and you're saying it's sad that they missed? You idiots on the left have lost your moral compass. You now think that because you think you have the moral high ground, that you can say or do immoral things to justify your thoughts. Bullshit, mate. No way. You don't get to do those type of things and get away with it. You people are scum. You do not deserve any type of attention on X. Unfortunately, I'm a big fan of free speech, so yeah, you get to say whatever you want. And I'm not going to stop you, but I do not like what you're saying, okay? Just to make it a little bit clearer. Yeah, so when these friends of mine said those type of things, I gave them heaps, of course. I said, what type of person are you? You're a rubbish person to say that. When Joe Biden got COVID all those years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was, you know what I said? I actually put up a post saying, I hope you get well. Because that's exactly it. I want you to get better. Now I think you shouldn't be taken out by a sniper or anything like that. Now I think you're absolutely incompetent. You're doing an absolutely rubbish job. You've destroyed the world, hyperbolically. But I want you to go and piss off and retire. I don't want any ill will to you. So of course, because of this sniper, there was a whole bunch of photographers on the scene. We ended up with the most iconic image in the history of politics. This will go down. In fact, it already made the front cover of Time magazine, and it's absolutely everywhere. This image just shows absolute defiance against everything, including defiance against the shooter. You had your go, you bitches, and you missed. You did a shit job. You can't even do that right. You can't even control. You can't even. Well, what am I trying to say? You can't even govern the country, and you can't even assassinate the president. You people are just useless at everything. Oh, not all my lefty friends. I've got a lot of great lefty friends. Anyway, so we ended up with that. So, of course, after that debacle of a day, there was a whole bunch of people like you saw that were being really, really nasty. And then we jump forward, what was it, about a week, and all the stuff that was happening with Biden, it was a disaster, absolute disaster, because we know what's been happening. He just can't get anything right. He's still mumbling. He's big boy, what they call it, the big, I think it was the big boy, I'm losing my train of thought, the big boy interview with George Stephanopoulos. And because that was a disaster, the Democrats, like I said earlier, jumped into it and said, you've got to quit. And literally, what was it, 2 days ago, Biden said he's not accepting the nomination. He's no longer running for president. And the afternoon, he said that he's quitting, what was it, July 21st? I believe it happened. Literally that morning, the Democrat chair was on one of the cable shows and said, "Oh, we're still behind Biden. He's still going ahead, and he's going to be running for president." A few hours later, Biden resigned. And you know what? Normally, when something like that, such a big sorry, let me correct that. Biden didn't resign. He just stopped from rerunning for president. So anyway, normally what they do, what sitting presidents do if they're quitting, is they'll have a live broadcast and they'll address the nation. And they'll say, the usual, thank you very much for your support. It's been wonderful. We've achieved a lot of great things together. Blah, 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 bull, bull, bull. But what Biden did, he made his announcement on X. And basically, my fellow Democrats, I've decided not to accept the nomination. He quit via X. I just found that so funny. Anyway, so you know what happens? Kamala Harris. By the way, Biden endorsed Kamala. Sorry. Apparently that's the way you pronounce it, Kamala Harris. And she polls even worse than Joe Biden. Now, just recently, they did a poll of Kamala Harris, and they aggregated 105 different polls, and Kamala came in at 37% approval rate. I think it was like 37.8%. What a disaster the Democrats are just going through. So, yeah, and funny thing is, in the first 24 hours of Kamala accepting well, she hasn't technically accepted the nomination at this stage because they haven't nominated her, because that's happening in next month. But she's got enough delegates to be nominated, and within that 24 hours of getting those delegates, they raised $84 million. So there's a lot of people behind her, but she's just a terrible person. If anything, she's actually worse than Biden, and I dislike Biden as a human being. He's terrible. So Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. I believe Trump was already declined to debate Kamala, so I'm not sure what's happening there. But we'll see over the next coming days, because this is really new news. New news. So, what happened was Kamala, she had this press conference, and she decided to show the unity between her and Biden. But this is, have a good listen to Biden in this short clip, 31-second clip. And it's all sorts of weirdness. Let's press play.
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call, and we've been talking every day. You guys heard it from Doug's voice. We love Joe and Jill. We really do. They truly are like family to us. And we do, everybody here does.
It's mutual.
I knew you were still there. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe. Oh.
All right. Now, what the issue with this is, one, everyone's saying that was actually AI. It wasn't real. Now, the reason for that, because he hasn't said anything to anyone at this present stage. He's just gone totally silent. I think it's been almost 2 days since he rejected the nomination. So no one's heard from him, no phone calls, no nothing except for this little bit. Now, have a listen again to the very start what Kamala says. We'll play that again.
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call.
Did you hear that? She goes, I still know you're on the Rick. Then she stopped saying. Then she said it was cool. Everyone's jumping up and down saying that she almost said recording. I personally would not be surprised at this present stage, because it's an absolute mess on the Democratic side. But he's supposed to be sick, and there was some report of him taking already the 10th shot of some type of medication for his COVID. But again, next few days we'll find out the story, what's going on. I tend to hold back a bit until everything's a bit confirmed. Anyway, so that's what's happening. So we have had a bit of a catch-up and a debrief over what's happened over the last month. So Biden has a terrible debate. Trump gets shot. Biden quits running for president. And Kamala is now possibly the new nominee. What a month. This is going to be a crazy, what is it, three months before the actual election. So I'll try and keep you informed and a bit more regularly. Stay in contact with you guys. So if you like what I've done, I'm a bit over the place tonight because there was so much to catch up with in a short space. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, share the video. It'd be great to see you in the next video. So catch up.